Hi, I'm Amy Beaulieu of Three Shoes Incorporated. I'm sharing today my 5 M's of becoming more resilient. The first M, move your muscles. And yes, I'm intentionally using the word move and not the word exercise, because if you're out there and not a person who exercises, the last thing you're going to do to become more resilient is start exercising. So instead, I encourage you to think about small movements that have a lasting positive impact. So intentionally moving throughout the day allows you to take a break from the posture at driving, at the computer, holding a child. In other words, give yourself some movements that actually feel good for your body. These movements are going to allow your brain to get the necessary oxygen flowing through, while at the same time reducing the chance of those stress hormones from kicking in, like adrenaline and cortisol. And what that does is allows you to get the stagnant air out of your body. It allows you to circulate more oxygen to the brain specifically for the clarity of mind, the increased focus, and productivity. When was the last time you actually raised your hands overhead? Literally stretched them to the ceiling. That's all I'm talking about. Moving your body in a way that helps you feel better after the fact so that you have enough energy to carry through the day. This is part of resilience. Another element to making your resilience stronger is to make stronger connections. Staying connected to other people can build up our resilience by allowing us a break from our stuck thinking. And we all know the culprit of our stuck thinking is the critic in our head. So to counteract that critic and its insistence that it is always right, we need to counteract it with alternative solutions, ideas, possibilities. And by talking over our situations with someone else, we can get that restored optimism by having those new considerations. Another important layer of making connections is to actually reconnect. Reconnecting with other people that we may have severed ties with at some point in our life. Harboring resentment, grudges, hurts, headaches, and heartaches, I call it. This takes a huge toll on our ability to be resilient. Visualize this. Imagine I ask you to hold a glass of water, to hold that glass for, say, 3 minutes. For 3 minutes, you probably could hold that glass without much discomfort. Now imagine I ask you to hold on to that longer. I ask you, say, for 3 hours. Now, after 3 hours of holding that same glass of water, you're going to have pain, cramps, fatigue, even temporary nerve damage. Anger, bitterness, sorrow, these can have the same effect the longer we hold on to them. So as part of your resilience plan, forgive someone and reconnect if it makes sense to. Not every relationship needs to be reconnected, but your body and mind will definitely know the difference if you've let go of the grudge and managed that relationship to a place where you have forgiven them. Again, they don't even have to know. The third M in my cause here today, manage your mood. We can find our resilience gets lowered by having an overflowing to-do list, time pressures, a racing mind, even the aggravations of being around other people. You want to change your mood almost instantly, especially in those moments? Play some music. Listening to music can alleviate these pressures by triggering the circulation of feel-good hormones, things such as serotonin, dopamine, oxytocin. So in other words, pick your music according to what mood adjustment you need. Pick music that's going to lift you up, energize you, or calm you. And this can change it in an instant. The other piece to managing your mood takes a whole day's lengthy conversation on its own, and that's learning how and when to express your emotions in ways that are helpful to you and your relationships. My next M, map your direction. When life gets turbulent, it's really easy to lose sight of ourselves. And our personal needs tend to be the first thing that gets sacrificed when we're under pressure. So it's essential to press pause. Pause to reflect, identify, or maybe I should say re-identify your purpose, your values, your passions. By reviving what matters most to you, you won't just succumb to pressure. You'll have the clarity and sense of direction to intentionally select and act on your priorities. This is what I mean by mapping your direction. Take this a step further. List out what's important to you. Literally make a list. Some people call it listing, others might call it journaling. Whatever it is for you, dump the thoughts on your brain. Whatever's on your mind, let the paper do the holding. Now that you don't have your brain trying to hold on to it and spend all that energy on it, you'll have much more space and energy to prioritize what matters according to significance or importance. And then you map those items to your calendar, because we're far less likely to sacrifice by erasing or even postponing or rescheduling items on our calendar than if we never put it down. And this is another way to calm the turbulence. My last M, meditation, a scientifically proven method to improve resilience. Think of it as training your brain to take a necessary pause long enough to get it back into high gear and performing like the well-oiled machine it was built to be. In the midst of turbulence, it can feel like things are too urgent to press stop and stop trying to problem solve and stop making decisions and stop moving in an action-oriented way at work. And yet that's exactly what we need, is to press pause. I say, press the brakes so your brain and body can get a break. These are my tips on building your resilience. Go out and be a scientist and experiment with any or all of them at your leisure. I'd love to hear how successful you are.